Welcome back. So a new year and a new push to crack down on stock trading by members of Congress. But there's a battle over whether it should also apply to the president. For more on this, let's bring in Republican Wisconsin Congressman Brian Stile, the House Administration Committee Chairman, who is also working on a bill on this topic for Speaker Johnson, looking to ban congressional stock trading. Congressman, thanks for coming in and great to see you.
Great to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. So look, it's been so hard to get bipartisan consensus on this topic when it comes to the congressional stock trading. Why are you confident you can get over the finish line this time?
Well, a lot of people have brought forward legislation, but I'm confident that we can build the coalition to actually get it done in 2026. The key here is making sure that individuals that have had successful business careers can come to Washington. We just don't want them trading and profiting off of insider information once they're here. If an individual wants to day trade, there's a place to do that. It's called Wall Street. If you want to come and help move this country forward, come to Capitol Hill. I think we have an opportunity to build the coalition and get this done, and not just introduced, but passed and signed into law.
So one of the biggest divides between Republicans and Democrats on this topic is Democrats want the executive branch involved in any stock ban on top of Congress. Here's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries talking about that.
There is absolutely no justification for the president, who has far more power than any individual member of Congress, or the vice president, to be able to trade stocks in real time when they have more access to inside information than perhaps the entire United States Congress combined.
So the legislation that you're drawing up right now, what would it do? Would it ban the executive branch from stock trading?
We could have an opportunity. It's shocking, of course, that Hakeem Jeffries was completely silent when President Biden's son was selling art for exorbitant prices. The key here is to let's build the coalition to begin the process of getting this done. Let's not allow the Democrats' Trump derangement syndrome from getting in the way of making real and substantive progress. I think we have an opportunity here to prevent individuals from trading off of insider information, to build on the 2012 Stock Act, and in particular to make sure that the American public once again has confidence that their elected officials in Washington, D.C. aren't profiting off of insider information.
If you don't include an executive ban in your legislation, do you still anticipate you can pull some Democrats over to get this over the finish line?
Well, I think everyone would agree that this is a significant step in the right direction. Whether or not other people want different bells and whistles, that's fine. That is often why this legislation has started, been introduced, and then found itself to die on either the House or on the Senate floor. My goal is to build the coalition that's needed to actually get this across the line, passed in the House, and signed into law. And I believe we can do that if at first we focus in on elected members of Congress.
So a lot of Republicans have pointed to Nancy Pelosi's success with her stock trading as a reason why this is necessary. She's signaled she could support a stock ban now, but she was very reluctant back in 2021. Here's what the New York Times says about this, quote, Nancy Pelosi resisted stock trading ban as wealth grew, fueling suspicion. Quote, her main reason for resisting the idea, the people close to her said, was that Republicans targeted Ms. Pelosi personally in their efforts to address the matter, and she did not want to cede any ground to attacks that implied she was corrupt. So we were talking about this during the commercial break. I think people on both sides of the aisle don't like the idea that you guys in Congress are privy to a whole lot of inside information, and there have been some members of Congress on both sides of the aisle who have greatly overperformed the stock market. Is 2026 the year something is finally done about this?
2026 needs to be the year that something's finally done upon this. Of course, Nancy Pelosi has less than 12 months in office, so it's not shocking to me that she has a change of heart in the home stretch of her career. That said, I think we have a need to get this done. I think the American public is demanding it. I think we have policy solutions that actually thread this needle to make sure that we can get this done and signed into law. The 2012 bill that you just referenced leaves a lot to be desired. In particular, members are reporting in increments rather than exact trades. That leaves a lot of misinformation to be able to flow through the news cycles. And so I think we have an opportunity to ban it outright and prevent members and give the public confidence that their members aren't profiting off of insider information.
10 seconds left. What kind of timeline are we looking at here?
I'd like to do it in the first few weeks of this year, and I think the leadership in the House is supportive of that.
All right. We'll see what happens once Congress is back on the Hill. Congressman Brian Stile, great to see you, and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.